Good morning, it's Bobby G, and welcome back to Financial Friday and Coffee with Your Advisor. Here's a question. How would you like to spend your golden years? Wearing a colorful vest like this lady? Welcoming customers to your favorite superstore? Or like this, comfortably relaxing, enjoying life without any financial cares or worries at all? Believe it or not, the difference might very well depend on who's working with you when designing your retirement future. For example, does your advisor simply sell you a product independent of how any other program works? Or is he or she creating a plan that works in conjunction with one another to get you the most from your hard-earned money and without any of those nasty fees and expenses that you typically find with a broker? Do you have a secure and comfortable emergency fund? For those unexpected events that always seem to happen? Or how about a plan to allow your assets to grow with the market even without those risk, fees, and expenses? How about income that keeps up with inflation? At the end of the day, it's all about who's working with you. Let's watch this short video, and then we'll come back with Robert to discuss the challenges that people are dealing with today in our continuing episode of Coffee with Your Advisor.
With continuing advancements in healthcare, many of us are living longer than ever before. But for those of us who are retired or planning to retire, we need to consider the financial impact of living into our 80s or 90s, or even into our hundreds. Because if we cannot be certain of what our savings or investments will earn from year to year, much less what they will earn over 20, 30, or 40 years, how can we be certain that our money will last into our 80s or 90s? And if we want to be sure that we will have enough to last us into our 80s and 90s, will we need to take less income during our 60s and 70s? Want to know how much more income you can take in your 60s and 70s?
So, are you ready to learn more about how to get the most income or which income is right for you? Well, here's Robert. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Coffee with Your Advisor. This is Robert Goldsmith, your 30-year financial professional, and we are sitting in our office, and we're going to talk to you today about how to avoid fees, how to avoid expenses, how to retire like a millionaire. The one thing that many people miss out on is literally, did I save for my future? And if I did, what is it worth? Now, I'm going to share a couple of things to you that may be important that you may have never heard of. And that is called the rule of 4%, or the magic withdrawal rate of 4%. So if you had $1 million in your account, how much would that, quote unquote, according to economic advisors or investment advisors, how much should that provide you during your retirement? Well, the magic withdrawal rate of 4% simply means if you had $1 million in your account, that should provide you somewhere around $40,000 a year. So imagine that. $1 million is only a little bit more than $3,000 a month for your lifetime. And the reason is that it's very possible if you've got an investment advisor working with you where your money is in a brokerage account, where the money is at risk, it's subject to all the ups and downs, fees and expenses that literally can erode your account dramatically. So as a result, most people don't have a secure plan for their financial future. And they live below their means or below their capability because they didn't understand how money works. And most importantly, they didn't understand the products that they could work with. So I'm going to talk to you this morning a little bit about not what products are called, but what products can do. So this is a series. We actually started this last week, and we talked about protecting your house. Now, when we talked about protecting your house last week, what we really wanted you to do was to make sure that you didn't see the erosion from your account based on those fees, expenses, and charges that may exist from those accounts that manage your money for a fee. I want to give you the same management potential, but without those fees. And then I want to give you the most important component. That is a secure, comfortable retirement. If you watch the video, one of the things that a lot of people end up doing in their retirement is going back to work. Now, I want you to think about that for a minute. Is that what you did your entire life? You worked so that you could go back to work? Not the most favorable position that you'd want to be in after working for 40 years. You got to go back to work just to continue to pay your bills. Now, there's a reason for that. The reason is people just never put away proper money, or they don't put it away properly. So you don't either put away the proper amount or you don't put it away properly. And I want to share with you some interesting facts, because there are a lot of people out there, they have old 401ks. Maybe they started saving for their retirement, or maybe you've got a position where you came into a lump sum and you're saying, where do I put this money? Well, let's think about the investment products that exist today. And I've talked about this briefly last week, so I'm just going to recap, and then I'm going to go into what I call the increasing income strategy that keeps up with inflation. And most people go to things like stocks, bonds, mutual funds, gold and silver. Some invest in real estate. And then others do what I call use of accumulation plans. Now, what's the difference? There are basically three types. Let me see if I can get three types of plans for growth. There's the investment. The investment is where I am putting money into a program or a product or matching an index that is at a perceived lower value than where it will be in the future. Truth is, it could go down and it could go up. When you have an investment, it by default means risk. Now, the second thing you can do is what's called the safe money plan. The safe money plan is that's where you put money in a bank, and it typically has no fees and no expenses, but it has limitations like the interest that you can potentially earn. And then you may also be taxed predicated on the qualification. Is it an IRA or is it just a savings account? If it's just a savings, interest earned year to year is going to be taxable. So if it's a money market account, if it's a CD, if it's not labeled IRA or Roth IRA, it will be taxed that year, the interest earned. Now, the last thing is what I call the plan for accumulation. That is the plan that gives you the best of both worlds, what I like to refer to most as salary plus commission, if you will. Because if I asked you what kind of job do you want a straight commission job with potential for no earnings whatsoever, maybe some great earnings, but potentially none? Do you want a salary job that you know what you're going to get paid each and every week and you're not going to make any more, which means it'll be kind of stagnant? Or do you want the one that gives you the salary for security and the potential for growth so that you can have a little bit of both? And that's the one people would choose. And that's what we're talking about for your retirement. Give you that safety and security, but with the potential for growth. And in fact, the potential for sometimes more growth than you can receive from just the commission-only jobs. So, what do you do in retirement? Most people, what they do is they take a sum of money, and I'm going to give you the return of one of our actual accounts. If you were to envision $100,000 you're starting this plan with. Now, why am I saying $100,000? The reason I'm saying $100,000 is because you can do the math pretty easily. So, for example, if you have $50,000, just take the number, cut it in half. You got 25, divide by 4. You got 200, multiply by 2. So use those numbers. This is not Common Core. Use those numbers, and then you'll be in a position to figure out where are you today and where can you be. So I took a 40-year-old who maybe just left their job, who over the last 10 years has put away some money. His boss has put away some money. We've had some good growth in the last decade, and now they've accumulated $100,000 during their retirement. So they're 40 years old, they got $100,000. Now, if it's 401k, you're probably not going to want to spend that, because if you do, the government's going to tax and penalize you for doing just that. So what you're going to do is you want that to grow. And you said, well, it's only $100,000. What can it be worth? Well, if you took the actual past performance, so I'm not talking about some highfalutin numbers. I'm not talking about projections that are over and above. I'm talking about actual performance based on the last decade and then repeated it every decade. If you were to do that, a person with $100,000 in their account would have, by the time they hit age 65, so I'm going to give you this number, $800,000. $800,000. And you might say, well, can I live like a millionaire? Well, how did I come up with that $800,000? Well, actually what I did is I created an income account. that grows based on the performance of the market at 1.75% of the market return. So let me think about that. We're going to show you how to take $100,000, put it into the market, give you two types of growth, actual growth and then an income account so you can retire comfortably. And what this income account does is it gives you 1.75% of the actual return the market receives. So you could have either a full $100,000, and it's roughly about $480,000, so about $500,000 or $800,000 as a retirement income. So we haven't even hit $1 million yet. But because of this program that we're sharing with you today, you would receive, check this out, at age 65, $40,000 for that year. You'd be living like a millionaire, even though you never had $1 million. And then, if the market were to increase, your income will increase as well. So every year the market goes up, your income will increase. So for example, in year 66 or age 66, this hypothetical individual would now have an income of approximately $44,000 because in this particular year, there was some decent growth. The year after that wasn't so good. So you actually had about $44,700. Not a tremendous difference, but still some growth in your account. By the age of 70, this person is now receiving almost $60,000 a year. It's an increasing income over the rest of your life so you could retire comfortably with dignity, with peace of mind, and have no risk. So what I want to do right now is I'm going to go to the whiteboard here, and I'm going to draw out the numbers, and I'm going to give you this plan in detail so that if you like it, all you do is hit subscribe below. You then contact me, and more importantly, we're going to send you information and a personalized illustration on how you can get this very program. And folks, you don't have to be a millionaire to start. You could start with $10,000. You could start with $40,000. You could start with $100,000. You could start with $1 million. But if you did that, you would be in a position to really have a comfortable retirement for the rest of your life. And oh, by the way, the sooner you start, the more you will have. So I want you to think about that. The sooner you start, the more income you will have in retirement, because the most important thing you give up is time. So let me back up a little bit, and I'm going to share that with you in one instance. Let's imagine, for argument's sake, that you waited 10 years before you did this. So that person wouldn't have account values of $400,000 and $800,000. Instead, 10 years sooner, that person would only have account values of, well, do I even have it here? I don't have it on the sheet. Sorry, but probably about half the amount. So you're giving up a substantial amount to wait 10 years. Time is either your ally or your adversary, predicated on how you do it. So let me take this up. Hopefully you can see this. I'm going to take this whiteboard and I'm going to share with you how this program works so you understand the value of this. So this is going to be too good to be true. So pay attention. I'm going to try to make this a little bit closer here for you. My wife's going to yell at me. And I'm going to share with you on this board how this works. So when you have a deposit, let's say of $100,000, so I'm going to make this large so you can see it. And again, this is just for math numbers so that you can get a better perception. And here's what happens. They will take this $100,000 and they'll track it two ways. A, this is the actual value. And what they're going to do is they're going to track an index. Now, the index can be things like the United Bank of Switzerland. It can be Barclays. It can be, let's give you a few others, Merrill Lynch accounts. It can be accounts that have indexes created specifically for these products that actually create low volatility for you, give you market potential, but they eliminate the risk. So it's going to track that index, and this is going to be your actual value. So in this particular case, at age 65, this person had an actual value of $488,000. Now again, this is based on past performance. You can't see that, so I've got to make that larger because I'm noticing I can't see it. So let me make this a little larger for you. That'll be, let's do this in big numbers, $488,000. Right? So that's what you're going to have. Now, well, I should say that's what you could have. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take it and track it another way. They're going to give you account B. This is what's called income value. Now remember, the goal with this is so that you can live like a millionaire in your retirement. This income value tracks the same index. So whatever you have allocated your funds to track here is what it's tracking here. But whatever value this receives, it's going to give you 175% of that value. Of that growth. I'm going to say growth. So what does that mean here? What does that mean here? If this market here took your money up, and I'm going to erase this, if this market here had a return that year of 7%, right, it's going to actually give you 1 3/4 times that amount, or approximately 12% added to your income value. So this is going to grow at a higher percentage. This is going to grow at market rates. And oh, by the way, if the market does a down year, if the market lost 10%, if the market loses, let me put that in red for you so you can see that better. If the market loses 10%, you lose nothing. Nothing lost. Your money stays intact. You lose nothing. Now, conversely, if it goes down here, again, you lose nothing. You gain nothing, but you never lose. Imagine if you would, that you guys went out to maybe, let's do something a little different. Let's say you went to invest in a stock, and I don't care if it's Apple or Home Depot, and you put your money in the stock. And the first year, you invested $100,000, right? And the first year, it was at $10 a share, right? And then what happens is it dropped to $8. And you're going, oh my God, this Apple stock started at 10, it dropped at 8. I lost 20% of my money. But what if they said to you, we'll give you back all your $100,000. You won't lose a dime. What if they said, keep all your money? Oh, by the way, the stock is only at 8%. Would you like to try it again? So now you get more stocks, and then the market goes up back to 9%. It didn't even reach its original level. But guess what? You have now made a profit. So when everybody else is trying to get back to even, you, on the other hand, are making a profit. That's how this account works. You can never go down. You can only go up. And oh, by the way, when those brokerage accounts are charging you fees and expenses, you have no fees and no expenses to have this kind of an account. And remember, now what they're going to do, so now I'm going to go back to your income side. Your goal is to get the actual income, right? I want you to live like a millionaire. Go Google the golden rule, the magic withdrawal number. The magic withdrawal number says $1 million in your account, 6 zeros, should return to you $40,000 a year. I'm telling you, you could start with 100 today, and you could get $40,000 a year by age 65. That increases every year. Now, this may actually go down if the market goes down. This will stay the same if the market goes down. So your $40,000 at age 65 with us either is always $40,000 or it goes up. Your $40,000 with the market could potentially go up if the market took it for a nice ride, but minus those fees and expenses. By the way, if they only charge you a total of 1.5% in fees from that brokerage account, that means they took out $15,000 on top of your 40 grand. That means you have to take out 55,000 to get 40. Here you get 40 without any fees, any expenses. And oh, by the way, it could go up next year, but it can never go down. So, do you want to live like a millionaire, guys? Okay, I lost my cop. Do you want to live like a millionaire? Did you know you could live like a millionaire with an account just like this one? That's where you put your money in, you let it sit, you let it grow for your retirement future, and you don't have to worry about just that 4% rule. You don't have to worry about losing money in the market. You don't have to worry about losing fees. You get an income that will continue to rise as long as the index you track continues to rise. And if it goes down, you lose nothing. Now I want to ask you a question. Which would you rather do? Would you rather risk your money playing like the Wall Street casino, betting on the fact that your broker has a better idea, or would you rather use a computerized program that manages your money for you, that takes the entire risk completely out of the equation and gives you the opportunity to live like a millionaire? And you see, it doesn't take $1 million to live like a millionaire. So one of the things we do at Financial 411 is we take your entire comprehensive program, we put that together, and we'll share with you how to design a plan starting today. You see, the biggest mistake people make is they think they have to have a lot of money, like $100,000, to get started. The truth is, if you want to have a lot of money, you got to get started, right? And I encourage you to get started today. Now, next week's program, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be sharing with you a plan that can grow based on incremental deposits. So if you said, I don't have a lot of money to get started, where do I get started? I'm going to show you a plan that will grow with you making incremental deposits. You might say, I don't even have the money for the incremental deposits. So I'm going to ask you questions like, are you getting a tax refund? Are you overpaying on certain bills like your cable bill? Are you overpaying on your auto insurance? Where can we cut some of that money expenditures out so that we can show you how to create the income or the asset to put away to save for your retirement? Because if you don't do this, all you're doing is contributing to the government. Look, I understand that we as a society do need to pay taxes in order for us to have police and firemen and to have the roads and the infrastructure, all the things that we need. We have to pay our fair share because it's not free. The government isn't a business. The government doesn't make money. The only way they make money is taking it from you. But I'm going to tell you, I don't believe you need to keep the government in the style with which she has become accustomed to. You have an opportunity to grow your money, and you can grow a tax deferred, even take it out tax free. And oh, by the way, minimize any tax on your Social Security when you retire. You see, financial planning is not just having money in a 401k. It's not just having a group life insurance plan. It's not just having health insurance from your employer. It's about understanding how all the components work together. So again, I'm going to repeat with this movie Crash because it's one of my favorite ways to give you this analogy. But in this movie that's about a decade old, Don Cheadle, Sandra Bullock, a few other big A-rated stars are in this movie. And at the very beginning of the scene, Don Cheadle, a police officer, is investigating a fatality auto crash. What he doesn't know, his brother is actually in that car. But that's not what's important. What's important is that there was literally about 6 or 7 different and separate storylines all throughout the movie. So when he starts, he goes up to the car. But when it ends, he's now at the car with his brother in it. But as the movie regresses and tells the story, all these things that happened separately had to happen exactly how they did for this crash to occur. Now, in this case, the fatality was a negative thing. But in order for it to be a positive thing as well, for you to have the kind of money, for you to have the tax-free money, for you to have the kind of growth, for you to have the best Social Security income, for you to have the best college funding plan, for you to have the best insurance coverage, for you to have all those components, they all must talk to one another. When you do things independently of each other, it's like going to McDonald's and you bought a hamburger and a French fry and a Coke and you paid the regular price instead of the combination price. You pay more by doing things independent of one another. Well, the same is true when it comes to your financial plan. You're going to do things inappropriately because you did them independently and you didn't talk to an advisor or a professional to help you. Now, you may think talking to an advisor like me, who's done this for more than 30 years, would be expensive. Well, I'm going to tell you, if you're watching this video and you go down and you like Financial 411, that's the Facebook page for Financial 411. You go out and you like that page. If you like that page and you subscribe, you'll get a series of videos, but more importantly, we will keep you informed of events just like this one. Because every Friday at 11 a.m. Central, noon Eastern, and 9 a.m. Pacific, we are going to be offering you the opportunity to learn more about how to manage your financial plan for free. And when you come to us and you say, Robert, here's what I've got, and you want a design plan, we'll show you how you can even get that plan designed for you, by the way, for free. We'll even show you how to get all these plans available to you for free. So when you sit back and say, I can't afford it, I'm not doing it, that's just on you. You have a chance to make a difference, but the only way you'll ever make that difference is if you give us a call. Now, if you'd like to, my number's on the screen. You can call me direct at 877-529-6543. Again, that's 877-529-6543. Get your questions asked and answered. And folks, remember, if you don't create your retirement today, your retirement will be dictated by probably nothing. So if you save nothing, you'll have nothing. If you do things from day to day, you're going to end up living a day-to-day mediocre lifestyle. Life is only one shot. Let's give it our best shot and let me help you accomplish your goals. Go out, like Financial 411. If you've got any questions or comments, give us a call. Again, my name is Robert Goldsmith. Our website is financial411.net, and you can call me toll free at 877-529-6543. You enjoy the rest of your weekend. Have a good day. Thanks for watching.